25 minutes. Yeah, that sounds about right. So we're going to do a 25-minute pace lap tonight.
Oh, okay, that's what we're doing. Okay.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. That means we get, like, what, 2 racing laps?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, no, we'd get 3. You'd be able to cross the line before the timer would go off.
Yeah, alright.
God, at that point, I just set the race up for 3 laps and say, screw it, let's just do a rolling start, a standing start. Hey, is NASCAR fan back yet? Nope. Nope, okay. Well, I know there's 3 of us to start ahead of them, so we'll go ahead and get them all out real quick. Fisher's on the pole again with another blazing lap at 2:03.520. Racing line is second with a 2:04.158.
What?
Go to the track.
With a 204 what?
2:04.158.
Oh, that fast.
That fast. It's her lap.
It was better than I remember.
It's your freaking lap, man. How could you not know?
I thought it was 195.
Alright, yeah, go behind Fisher. Thank you. I'll be starting third tonight. I got a 2:05.015. I was reading my first attempt. That was not the right one. So I was also considering something for tonight. Depending on how the room is doing after this race, I might just go ahead and open a new one for the GT series. You guys think that's a good idea, or should we just stay here and see what happens?
Oh man,
I mean, I know there's probably not going to be like a crap ton of people tonight, but I just don't want to
after
have
this
any
race,
possible issues.
after this race ends, I'm immediately going to hop out over by myself just to their laps in the GT. So get all ready, then I'll hop in.
Okay, I am back.
Okay, well good. You can come up and line up on me.
Alright, sorry. Let me turn on light.
Alright, back to qualifying order. NASCAR fan starts fourth. He got a best lap of a 2:05.407.
That was terrible.
Dylan starts fifth with a 2:05.535. Last but not least is no luck today. So it's Dylan. And he got a 2:05.575. Those are that may not notice. There's only, stop it. Good God, really? There's only about, what is it? Almost 0.6 of a second between third and sixth in qualifying. Alright.
Hello and welcome to the final round of the ARS Lancer Cup.
That's awesome.
Round 5 from the Nurburgring in Germany, where we have 6 cars for today's race. Starting on pole is GTP Fisher for TNP Racing, followed by Mr. Racing Line, the Danish driver. Third place, Aceboy 127 for Top Performance Motorsports. Fourth place, NASCAR Fan 1400 for Black Rose Racing. Fifth place, Dylan Likes 88 for DW Simsport. And sixth place is No Luck Today.
06, really?
This is the final round of the championship, so we do have some point scenarios on the line. For the Drivers' Championship, NASCAR Fan needs to score at least 3 points to clinch, and that should be fairly easy because just merely starting today's race and finishing 6th place should give him more than 3 points.
Here we go.
For the team's championship, I'm going to have to actually look this up because I failed to prepare at all. I've been away from home for a majority of the day. I was at the motocross national event.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here we go, everybody. 11 minutes late.
So I need to pull that off to get these points up for the team so I can show you how those are looking or tell you.
This is actually...
As the countdown timer has begun, there is a rolling formation lap before the beginning of the race, so they will roll off at 50 miles an hour, 80 kilometers an hour, and then we will get underway.
The fact that we're not starting late again.
Oh, I guess I'm like
Okay.
an angel.
So the qualifying results for the 30 minutes Nurburgring. Fisher is on pole with a 2:03.5. Mr. Racing Line got second with a 2:04.1. That's a gap of 6.38 tenths. Ace Boy qualified third with a 2:05.6. And no, he actually got a 2:05 flat. My apologies. Just 0.6 was on his first attempt. NASCAR fan with the 2:05.4. Dylan Lights 88 with a 2:05.5. And no luck today with a 2:06.6. Now for the team standings, Black Rose Racing Team currently leads
Speaking of lanes,
by 7 points over Tesla Motorsports, who is represented by No Luck Today. So if NASCAR fan beats No Luck Today, he will have no problem on that regard. Top Performance Motorsports is in third place. Quite a ways back, actually. Yeah, like 15 points back.
It's had its moments.
14 and 15 here. And there's only one TPM car in the field tonight. That is Ace Boy 127.
You've already won it.
So really, if NASCAR fan can finish ahead of Ace Boy and No Luck Today, he shouldn't have too many problems for the team championship. And again, he only needs to get those 3 points for the Drivers' Championship. So if he completes a lap tonight, then he will be the
No Luck Today
champion.
will win, we'll finish 6th, and then the other team will win the championship.
Anyways, you can hear the drivers in the background laughing around, having a good time. It is the final race of this season. So we're going to try to go out on the high notes here and not have too many dramas, hopefully. Just have some nice, solid racing. We do have the GT race coming up after this. As we are on board with No Luck Today in the 11 car, looking at the 6 car field. Rolling down to the hairpin on the formation lap. See that bright green number 72, Dylan Likes 88 for DW Sim Motorsports. Looking for a solid performance today. Ahead of him, NASCAR fan 1400 looking to do his job the way he needs to do it and bring home both the drivers and team championship for the ARS Lancer Cup. His third championship this will be, although he won't consider one of those to be legit. He'll say it's his second. Ahead of him is Ace Boy 127 representing the Top Performance Motorsports crew tonight, who has the other 2 drivers who are not willing or able to make it tonight. Second place, Mr. Racing Line. We haven't seen him in a couple of rounds, but he is back for the Nurburgring and ready to make some sort of redemption for himself after missing a couple rounds here, looking for a solid race here. Hope might even be able to take the win from Fisher. I won't say hopefully. Sorry about that. Have a bit of a bird in my throat, whatever you want to call it. But it should be a good fight up front. Fisher did qualify pretty well ahead of everyone else, so he is definitely the man to beat. Anyways, they're coming up to the final chicane, ready to get underway here. And I will apologize in advance if at some point during this broadcast my dog goes berserk, because I am expecting someone at my house, and my dog does not enjoy it when people show up to the house unannounced. So I might have to mute my microphone for a period of time unexpectedly, so I just ask for everyone's patience in that regard. They are through the chicane. We are going to get back to the TV cameras here, 1 corner to go, and we're going to be getting underway.
Finale for the Lancers. I never thought it would happen.
I'm already got my lights.
Rounding the final corner now.
Here we go, everybody.
Here they come towards the start-finish line. When the leader accelerates, the race is go. He is on the gas, and the race is now green. NASCAR fan with a really good jump gets ahead of Mr. Racing Line and Ace Boy 127 straight up to the second position, heading down to the hairpin. Turn number 1, the really, really hard right-hander, more than 90 degrees. We're going to see if NASCAR fan's going to try to do an over-under, keep that run on Mr. Racing Line. He gets under, and Mr. Racing Line's going to have the optimal line for corner number 2, a long, sweeping left-hander, followed by another left-hander through the arena section of this Nurburgring GP circuit. So NASCAR fan's probably going to slot back in behind him real good. Ace Boy 127 right on his tail. Making their way out of the first sector now into sector number 2. A fast left and another tight right. This right-hand corner is a little bit deceiving. It is a little more than 90 degrees. But really fast, a really, really open radius corner there. Heading down towards the hairpin now for the first time. Fisher leads from Mr. Racing Line, NASCAR fan 1400. Ahead of Ace Boy 127 now off the start. Mr. Racing Line goes into the gravel trap at the hairpin. He's going to drop back to 5th place. No Luck Today is going to challenge him for 6th. Looks like he's going to stay behind him, but that's going to promote NASCAR fan up to the 2nd position. Not what Mr. Racing Line needed this evening on the very first lap, but there's still 24 minutes and 40 seconds of racing remaining as they go into another left and right and start to head down the hill towards the chicane. Fisher for TNP Racing, a pretty good getaway from him. He's going to look to put those laps in nice and solid. Try not to make too many errors. Ace Boy 127 is going to challenge NASCAR fan 1400 into the chicane. He backs off early, plays it safe. Now Dylan's going to challenge him. See if a move is going to be made into the final corner here. Can Dylan try to get the over-under done? It's not going to happen this time. Mr. Racing Line's going to try to be clawing his way back up through the field now.
No, you were fine. It was just a hairy situation.
Let's go on board with the Danish driver. Coming down into turn number 1, really hard braking from over 120 miles an hour in these Lancer Cup cars. Into the arena section of the track. Mr. Racing Line has to shed his momentum with Dylan Likes 88 in front of him. Does not want to make contact too early in the race. Don't want to be too aggressive and make any more mistakes. Ace Boy 127 does not get a good run. Is he going to make it 3 wide? Ace Boy with a little bit of a block. Probably for the better. Mr. Racing Line was thinking about taking it 3 wide into that next left-hander as he's into the grass again. He's going to back off of that battle, maybe pushing just a little bit too hard in the opening stages of the race and making some unforced errors there. Ace Boy 127 now behind Dylan Likes 88, so that is DW SimSport up into the 3rd position.
Yeah, it's a replay check there.
Well, I mean, like I said, I'm 90% passive until we hit the line. I just want to, if he's speeding back a whole road.
Those fast Schumacher S's really put a good load on these cars. As Ace Boy 127 heading down the hill towards the chicane for the 2nd time under green flag conditions.
See what happens. I think it calls you to go off.
A little bit too far back this time to try to make a move on Dylan into the NGK chicane, if that is what it's called. I have no idea. I did not do any homework.
No, there was he was right behind me, and I looked back, and he's way behind me. Right after that, so I don't know if I did something.
I hear some chatter from the race drivers on the communal radio channel.
At that point. Because he was right beside me.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I see we have currently 3 watching right now. Thanks to you guys for tuning in. I appreciate having you. Ace Boy 127 going to try to make a move on the outside into turn 1. That does not work out for him. Needs to set up these next couple of corners here exactly the way he needs to
I don't know if you noticed, but
in order to get a good run heading out of the first sector. See Ace Boy with the wide entry should have a pretty good run off here. Going to go on board with him. Yes, he does have a little bit of run. He's going to look to the left side of Dylan coming into this left-hander. He's going to outbrake him a little bit, and he is going to make that move happen nice and textbook. Now for Dylan, can he get a good run back coming down towards the hairpin? Mr. Racing Line is starting to catch up to these two now. So he's a little closer than he was last time after he made that mistake. Dylan Likes 88 staying right with Ace Boy 127. They're heading up the hill through the Schumacher S's. We're looking behind from the Top Performance Motorsports car. See Dylan Likes 88 really attacking those curves, using all of the road available to him. That's what you need to do to maximize your corner speed around this Nurburgring circuit. Dylan Likes 88, he's going to try to get a good run coming down towards the... Good run coming down towards the chicane. Mr. Racing Line is a lot closer than he was last time. A bit too far back for a move now. Dylan Likes 88 really abusing those curbs there in the NGK chicane. Trying to get a really good run. Got to be careful though, because those curbs will upset your car if you hit them the wrong way, so it's kind of a gamble every time you hit them. Now we're going to go on board with the 72 DW Sim Sport machine. Can he get the outbraking job done in the turn number 1? Is Ace Boy going to leave him room? He overshoots a little bit. Was there contact? I did not see. But that's going to bring Mr. Racing Line right into the thick of it. Ace Boy's car is moving around. I'm going to assume that there was a bit of contact there, maybe a bit of damage for these two. Ace Boy's car is not behaving the way I would typically expect it to behave. Mr. Racing Line is now through. And he's also through on Dylan, so both the 72 and the 5 are perhaps wounded after a collision in turn number 1. Dylan Likes 88 trying to outbrake Ace Boy 127 and just getting it wrong, losing grip of the car and making contact with the 5. So we're now going to look at NASCAR Fan 1400. He's completed at least 3 laps in this motor race. At this point, he has secured the championship. NASCAR Fan 1400 will be your 2017 ARS Lancer Cup champion in its first season on Gran Turismo 6. So congratulations to NASCAR Fan 1400 for his 3rd title. Now he just needs to continue doing what he's need to do. He's ahead of both Top Performance Motorsport and Tesla Motorsport. He has the team championship where he needs it to be right now. He just cannot make any mistakes at this point in the game. You see him not pushing very hard through the chicane at all. Fisher has checked out. Let's check on that lead he has. Let's jump to the live timing and hope it doesn't freeze. With the best lap of it, 2:03.401. That is super fast with an 8.6 second lead after 5 laps completed here at the Nurburgring GP circuit. Also holds the best lap. The gap between NASCAR Fan and the battle behind is 2.4 seconds. The Danish driver, Mr. Racing Line, trying to make a hard charge after a rough opening couple of laps. We're going to jump back to our TV cameras here. Alaskan Mandingo, hello. Thank you for joining us tonight. See you in the YouTube chat, guys. I do have it up. Happy to have you. Hope you enjoy the program.
Well, we had more.
Let me toggle those timestamps there so I can see how late I was. 8:35. See, I was 5 minutes late. I was too engulfed in commentating on the race. I did not see it at first, so my apologies there, Alaskan. But I do see you. I appreciate you tuning in.
Sorry. God, I really wish I had a mirror on this thing.
NASCAR Fan 1400 really smooth up through the Schumacher S's. Mr. Racing Line's going to probably start pushing on him a little bit. He is catching. But Fisher for TNP Racing is just gone. TNP Racing have dominated the entire season in the GT series. And for the entries that they had in the Lancer Cup, Well, you see very well, they have a really good package here
Nice.
with this organization. Fisher makes his way through the final corner. Is this going to be a best lap from him? 201, 202, 203. No, not this time. But you can tell he is really smooth and really consistent, punching out those fast laps on a regular basis.
If you do what now? Sorry. Your mic was kinda...
Ooh, someone had a little bit of a slide in the back. I think that was Ace Boy 127, still battling with Dylan Likes 88 after that earlier contact that I'm presuming happened. Again, didn't see anything for sure on camera, but ever since that, their cars have been behaving a little bit differently from what I'm observing, so just given the circumstances behind it, I'd assume that there would be some contact there, as Dylan Likes 88 is going to try to power out of the corner on the inside. He is going to get ahead of Ace Boy 127. Out over drives the next corner, though. Ace Boy is going to get back on his inside, have the optimal line for the next one. Dylan is right behind him, though. He's still there.
Oh, I guess Fisher's not on Sunday driving.
Oh, Ace Boy with a little bit of a mistake. Almost made the same mistake Mr. Racing Line did earlier on. And speaking of that, if you look up the road there, Mr. Racing Line has caught NASCAR Fan 1400. We're going to jump to that one. This one's going to be a spicy meatball. As they both head up through the Schumacher S up the hill really fast, 104, 5, 6, 7, 110 miles an hour. Accelerating up the hill.
He said also Ace Boy. He had it in white text so nobody could see it.
If NASCAR Fan is thinking smart here, I know Nas, he's going to race as hard as he possibly can, but sometimes you have to know where the line is between racing hard and racing smart.
Focus.
Mr. Racing Line's going to look up the inside. NASCAR Fan's going to be really late on the brakes. He still barely makes the corner, though. He's going to hold on to that position. I'll go on board with the number 71. I forgot his number. Whoopsies. There for a second. Just going to remind myself, NASCAR Fan a little bit wide to the final corner as they complete the 6th lap of their race here. We are past halfway. There's only 13 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in this race. Mr. Racing Line again with a really good run, heading down into turn 1. NASCAR Fan brakes as late as he possibly can. Same with Mr. Racing Line, a little earlier to play it safe. Mr. Racing Line is going to try to power around the outside, and he has cleared the 80 Black Rose Racing car of NASCAR Fan 1400 for the time being. Is Nas going to mount a charge back? See him trying to do some over-under there. Are they alongside after that corner? No, NASCAR Fan is still behind them. So that's Mr. Racing Line through for now. NASCAR Fan pushing really hard, running up on that inside curb. Hitting those tall curbs, especially on the inside of a corner on turn-in. That's what's really going to upset your ride.
That front damage is killing me on those left-handed.
So Mr. Racing Line is through. We're going to jump back to this battle for the 4th position. Ace Boy 127, Top Performance Motorsports ahead of Dylan Likes 88 for DW Sim Motorsport. As they head up through the Schumacher S. Ace Boy 127 for the time being, driving a little bit further away. Looks like Mr. Racing Line actually might have made a little bit of an error. NASCAR Fan is still right on top of him. Try to keep that pressure on. Pressure Mr. Racing Line to another mistake, perhaps. Knowing that, I've just commentator cursed him, but we will have to see. Into the final corner. NASCAR Fan driving in really, really hard. Thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. Hope you enjoy the program. We are right in the middle of the ARS Lancer Cup, the final round from the Nurburgring. Looking at the battle for second place between Mr. Racing Line and NASCAR Fan 1400. NASCAR Fan 1400 has secured the Drivers' Championship with starting the race tonight. And if he finishes where he is right now, he should also clinch the team championship for Black Rose Racing. And that is something that he's been wanting to do for this team for a while now. Not only is he honored to just be merely driving on the team, but to be in the position he is. Something that he's going to hold on to for a long time. Looks like Mr. Racing Line is starting to dispatch the 80 car though, so we're going to jump back to this battle. Getting heated again. These cars have already presumably made contact. Racing for position. Ace Boy 127 currently ahead of Dylan Likes 88. That contact being in the hairpin that is turn number 1. Not this hairpin down here. A little bit wider. As they now power back up the hill through the Schumacher S. See what kind of velocity they're holding. Ace Boy 127 gets down to about 101, 102 miles an hour. Still blistering quick in these Lancer Cup cars. And this series is classified as a spec series. There is no car tuning allowed. Only brake bias adjustments and tire compounds. Limited to racing hards or worse is permitted. So these cars aren't necessarily set up to be the most optimal for this track. It's up to the drivers to adapt and overcome. Dylan Likes 88 really attacking the chicane there. Ooh, Ace Boy runs a little bit wide to the final corner. He's going to have a better exit though. We're going to go on board with him, see what kind of a run he has. He has a little bit of a run. Utilizing all of the slipstream there to get alongside Dylan Likes 88, maybe a little bit of side drafting action there. They're getting really close. Dylan Likes 88 braking just a little bit later than Ace Boy 127 though. Racing room is left. Lots of respect between these two drivers. Dylan Likes 88 is going to hold on to the position, but Ace Boy is going to try to power around the outside. Is he going to try to do the over-under here? No. Dylan cuts back in to protect that inside line. Good defensive driving by the 72. Now Ace Boy's going to look up the left side for this corner. He's still not clear of Dylan. He's going to think better of that little bit of contact there. Ace Boy 127 just barely getting to the back of the 72 of Dylan. No harm, no foul. Dylan didn't go off. No positions were exchanged. It's just, hello, I'm here. As Dylan's going to really power into the hairpin here. Kind of take a diamond that corner there with that early apex. Kind of swing wide to a little bit of the track and cut in late to maximize that run up through the Schumacher S. So Mr. Racing Line, after making some early mistakes in this motor race, has found his way back up to the second position, the place where he started. It's going to be quite the challenge for him to catch Fisher, as Fisher just now completes the lap. He just went through the final chicane there, about to hit the final corner. The gap between first and second is roughly the size of the front straightaway here at the Nurburgring circuit. And we are about to hit 7 minutes remaining in the race. At the time the clock expires, the checkered flag will be shown to the leader the next time they cross the start-finish line. Kind of having to adapt myself from spectating the motocross race today, where once the timer goes out there, they get 2 laps. Dylan Likes 88 kind of overdrives turn number 1 a little bit. Ace Boy 127 is there to pick up the pieces. Gonna power around the outside. Dylan leaves some room up there. Doesn't push him wide. Now can Ace Boy get the over-under again? A little bit of contact there. Dylan kind of overdrove that corner just a little bit. Now who's going to get the run coming off of here? Dylan is a little bit further back. So for the time being, Ace Boy 127, Top Performance Motorsports, back up into the 4th spot. We're going to check in on Fisher here. Still with that 2:03.4 best lap time. I don't think he's going to be able to eclipse that. But again, still extending his lead. Doing exactly what the doctor ordered. Coming down the hill, about to approach the final chicane. Perhaps one of the trickiest corners on the track, this really hard braking zone into a 90-degree left, 90-degree right. Inherently designed to slow your speed down. It is a different chicane than what is used on the 24-hour combined circuit layout. That one's a little more flowing than this one is. Doesn't allow you to shed as much speed, but the one in use tonight for the GP course is most certainly a momentum killer. And that said, it becomes very technical to get every last tenth out of that you possibly can. Fisher ticks off another lap in the red number 39. Going to go back to Mr. Racing Line here. After missing a couple of rounds, he has come back strong. Currently running in the second position with a 2:04.6 best lap. So pretty solid recovery from those mistakes he made early on. Came back from as far back as the 5th position, which is almost dead last. Make his way back up through the field. Back up in that second spot. Pulling away from NASCAR Fan 1400 and doing what he needs to do. NASCAR Fan 1400 running in the 3rd spot, final position on the podium, but I don't think he cares too much. He has solidified his Drivers' Championship campaign, and if the checkered flag was to be shown right now, Black Rose Racing would be the ARS Lancer Cup team champions, and that is most certainly something he's been trying to do. For not only himself, but for the team owner and manager, Angel, someone who he has a lot of respect for and admires. Coming through the hairpin, running about the car width up off the bottom. I wonder if that's intentional. Coming up through the Schumacher S, let's see what his lowest speed is going to be. Again, just like Ace Boy 127, 101 miles an hour. I'm going to have to remember to look on board with Fisher and see what kind of speed he's doing to the Schumacher S. Because I think, again, that's one of those critical corners on this track that you have to get right. You need to carry as much momentum as you can up the hill coming out of the hairpin. NASCAR Fan using the inside curb there on that King, approaching the last chicane. Coming around, the timer on the left side of your screen has turned yellow. That means there is less than 3 minutes remaining in this race. So almost certainly they will get the white flag next time by. NASCAR Fan heading through the arena portion of the track once again. Has a bit of a gap between Ace Boy and Dylan. So I think if he just puts in, you know, nearly 2 solid clean laps, he will do exactly what he needs to do. As we're going to jump on board with Fisher as he's heading down towards the hairpin at the bottom of the track. And we're going to keep an eye on his apex speed up to the Schumacher S and see if he's carrying any, if how much more through the corner. So what's his lowest speed going to be? It's going to be 101, but for a significantly less period of time than the other drivers. So he definitely has that corner figured out. NASCAR Fan 1400 just now coming up through. No, that's Mr. Racing Line coming up through the Schumacher S. Let's look at the live timing here. The gap is 16 seconds. And NASCAR Fan is another 9 seconds behind Mr. Racing Line. And from NASCAR Fan to Ace Boy 127, he has a 6.2 second barrier that he can just, I won't say lift and coast, but he doesn't certainly have to push too hard as we are about to start the final lap here. Just under 1:20 remaining as Fisher is going to cross the start-finish line. There it is. The white flag is in the air. One more lap for him, with the lap times being up close to the 2-minute range. He will not make it back around before the checkers. So one more lap for TNP Racing to take the win. Mr. Racing Line, after being absent for a couple rounds, comes back with a really strong second position. He has one more lap to solidify that. NASCAR Fan 1400 is one lap away from securing his first championship for Black Rose Racing. As you can see, he's already starting to get a little cocky, weaving up and down the straightaway, flashing his lights. You don't want to make a mistake right now, Nas. You don't want to end up in those celebrated too early compilations. That would be an embarrassment. Anyways, one more lap for him. The timer is at 20 seconds now. Fisher is just now making his way down to the hairpin. NASCAR Fan about to exit the first sector. Just 3 more remaining at this 4-sector Nurburgring GP track. As we are going to move camera angles up to your leader, the 39 car, GTP Fisher, up at the end of the Schumacher S. And there it is in big red lettering. This is the final lap under the expired timer on the left side of your screen. So the checkered flag will be shown to car number 39 for TNP Racing when he comes around the final corner here at the Nürburgring. See the castle off in the distance, a really good TV angle there. Looking down the hill, through the kink for the final time at 128 miles an hour for the TNP Racing Lancer. Hard braking for the final chicane one last time through here for Fisher in the Lancer Cup. He will be competing in the GT race later on this night, as will a lot of the field. Anyways, there is Fisher through the final corner, headlights on. He's going to receive that checkered flag, driving right up next to the pit wall. He did what he needed to do. A really commanding win for TNP Racing here at the Nürburgring. Mr. Racing Line is going to come through the final corner now. Second place for the Danish driver on his return to the final round of the ARS Lancer Cup. And here is really the big talking point of the night. NASCAR Fan 1400 has done exactly what he's needed to do. He's going to come around in third place, weaving back and forth across the track. Black Rose Racing is your ARS Lancer Cup team champion. NASCAR Fan 1400 also taking the Drivers' Championship there, so it is a double whammy for car number 80. Ace Boy 127 is going to come in fourth. Dylan Lights 88, fifth place for DW SimSport. No luck today for Tesla. He is in the 6th position.
It is on the last
as the timer is now going to expire.
Dude, I ran a 209 last lap. I was weaving the car back
And I would pull up results for you guys right now, but I need to keep my eye on this 80 car. Is he going to do some celebratory donuts, perhaps? We will have to find out if he heads right back out onto the track after this one. You can tell how happy he was with the way he was weaving up and down the straightaway on the last 2 laps of the motor race. Absolutely ecstatic NASCAR Fan 1400.
I'm gonna go out and do some donuts. That's okay with you. So you can in the lobby.
And I believe NASCAR Fan has gotten permission from race control to head out onto the track and to give the fans a bit of a treat.
No, you don't need to film it.
So we will head out with them with the cameras.
If Bambi wants to film it, that's fine. But yeah, I'm going out. Yes.
You could think that Bambi was eating pizza.
NASCAR Fan 1400 absolutely elated to get the Drivers' Championship and the Team's Championship here tonight. Still unofficial, of course. There is still the possibility for a protest. I don't think that's going to happen. As he's going to do reverse donuts in the 4-wheel drive Mitsubishi Lancer Evo Cup car.
How about the TV time?
Yeah, congrats on your championship, NASCAR. Good for you.
Thank you, Fisher. You would have kicked my ass if you came to all the races. But hey.
Hey, it's your championship, man. It's your championship.
As you hear GTP Fisher congratulating NASCAR fan 1400 for his achievement here at the Nurburgring today.
I still wish you would have done the 24, you Weenie Hut Generals. That would have been much more epic. No.
So NASCAR fan 1400 now making his way to the back half of the circuit. Going to give the fans a bit of a treat back there, but we're going to go ahead and we are going to pull up the race results, the unofficial results at the conclusion of round number 5 at the Nurburgring. So it is GTP Fisher taking the win from Mr. Racing Line by 16.2 seconds from NASCAR fan 1400, rounding out the podium for Black Rose Racing, 31.5 seconds behind.
Oh, yeah, I thought.
About 3 seconds behind him is Ace Boy 127 for Top Performance Motorsports. Close behind him was Dylan Likes 88 for DW Sim Motorsport, and No Luck Today is going to round out the field for Tesla. 40 seconds behind, said he got distracted by company, but still a good run for everybody in this grid nonetheless. So congratulations to everybody involved. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Alright, I'll see you guys in a little bit or so. I'm going to try to feel up some of that. Ace, what are you going to do?
Yeah, so thanks for tuning in, everyone. If you like the video, please leave a thumbs up. And if you like this kind of content, I'm not just going to flat out say subscribe. I want you guys to make sure that you're going to enjoy the kind of content I'm pushing out before you hit that subscribe button. But if you do, I'd certainly appreciate it. So until next time, Bambi signing off for the ARS Lancer Cup. We will be back live here shortly for the GT Series, an hour-and-a-half finale. Same track, different cars, higher stakes, and I will go more into detail for that when the time comes. So I hope to see you guys over there here in a short period of time. But until then, take care and good night.